Hey ho, it's Marco Cattaneo representing Charles III University with yet another study buddy for the subject ITI 597, the subject that covers like service management. Hey, in today's topic, we're going to take a closer look at the RACI model, the RACI model. Yeah, a bit of an introduction to roles and responsibilities. Job burnout. If the job description isn't explained clearly, if the requirements are constantly changing and hard to understand, or if expectations are otherwise unclear, workers are at higher risk of burnout. Comes from a website called stress.about.com. Quite interesting because I wholeheartedly agree with this statement. Yeah, roles and responsibilities. First of all, a role is not the same thing as a person. Okay, a role is a description of a whole bunch of like activities and behaviors you're looking for, and then hopefully like the right person can step into that role. So you're linking roles with like individuals in that scenario. Responsible is not the same thing as accountable. I mean, responsible typically means like someone is doing the job, is doing or performing an activity. Where accountable means like this is where the buck stops. I mean, if this activity is not performed properly, then your head will be on the chopping block. So you can delegate your responsibilities, but you cannot delegate your accountabilities. I mean, I can ask my neighbor to pay my mortgage bills if I go on long leave. But if he doesn't do that stuff, I mean, the bank ultimately will come to me because I signed those documents. I'm accountable. Effective organizations decide quickly. That is only possible with clear role descriptions. So it's only possible if like it's clear like who's doing what. And for example, like what does the escalation process look like? So that's something that needs to be in place if you want to become like an effective organization that is able to decide quickly what needs to be done. Yeah, RACI or ARCI models. I prefer to say ARCI because I believe that accountable it like I know it sits like one step higher than like responsible. So accountable means like this is where the buck stops. It ends here. Responsible, this is where stuff gets done. This is where we find actually people like performing activities. Consulted, this is where we ask others. And informed, this is where we tell others. So RACI or ARCI, it's a mnemonic. It stands for like these four words: accountable, responsible, consulted, and informed. Have fun. The idea behind like the RACI or ARCI technique is to create a so-called like RACI or ARCI matrix or ARCI chart. That's where you map your roles against your tasks or activities. So it's like a chart where you map your roles. So who against your tasks like what. So who's doing what. And then you fill in like the various like A's and R's and C's and I's in all the cells. So you know exactly who's accountable, you know exactly who's responsible, you know exactly who will be informed and who will be like consulted for the various activities. So does that make sense? So let this like chart sink in. It's like I mean, it's not like the answer to like for incident management in this scenario. I mean, it's just an example. It's all about like identifying like who does what in my organization, in my environment. So how do you build like a RACI chart? Well, there's actually a nice procedure in place. Let's see. Identify first of all the responsibilities. So what's happening? So identify like the activities slash tasks. Then identify the roles. So who should be doing or who is currently performing all these tasks? Assign the RACI codes. So who's responsible, accountable, who will be consulted and who will be informed. Of course, you need to go through like a collaborative process. Then identify gaps and or overlaps. I mean, do you find like more than one person accountable per activity? That doesn't make sense. Or maybe you don't find like anyone responsible for an activity? That also doesn't make sense. So make your improvements, distribute the chart and obtain feedback. Of course, you need to incorporate feedback. Again, going through like a collaborative process. And then finally, you want to make sure that like the roles are following the responsibilities, or the roles are performing the things they're like responsible, accountable, and so on for. So ensure the allocations are being followed. That's like how you build a RACI chart. An analysis you should be performing on your RACI chart should include like looking for like, do we have like more than one A, like more than one person accountable? Sorry, that is not possible. Only one role per activity can be accountable. You can't have multiple captains on the same ship. No A's, that is also not possible. You need at least one captain on the ship for each of those activities performed. If you've got like heaps and heaps of R's for a specific activity, you may want to ask yourself the question, do we have like too many roles being responsible here? If you've got like no R's for an activity, that doesn't make sense, because if you like identify an activity, then surely someone must be performing it. If you've got like many C's on your chart, then you could be doing like paralysis by analysis. So you may be consulting like too many roles. No C's and no I's on your chart. That may be a sign of like not having enough like communication channels being properly opened within your organization. So it's a really cool technique to analyze like what's going on and who's doing what. Yeah, practice what you preach. Of course, it's about understanding like the ARCI or RACI model/chart. Hey, visualize a large like RACI chart that contains like all activities and all roles as performed within your IT organization. What if you find clusters of areas where like similar roles are performing similar or related activities? This allows you to do what? Think about that one, okay? Hey, also create a RACI chart for one of your like IT processes, for example like incident management, and again perform like a high-level activity analysis. Have fun with the exercise, okay? Yeah, simple question. Which one of the following roles should be held accountable for ensuring that the incident management process achieves its objectives? Answer A, the service desk manager. Answer B, the technical management manager. Answer C, the service desk analyst. And answer D, the incident manager. I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about the answer, and then as usual we move on. Yeah, of course we want to put like the A for accountable in the cell of the incident manager. Okay, the incident manager should really ensure that the process achieves its objectives. Yeah, we've completed yet another topic. In the next one, we're going to look at like service automation or service automation, as explained within the volume Service Strategy. Hey, until then, live long and prosper. Nano, nano. And as always, I'll be back.